amigos. Welcome to the Cynthia Linux Show. I am your host, Cynthia Linux. Here again to remind you that this is the best season of your life. I am really excited today because I have gotten so many stories, so many reports of people that are waking up to themselves, people that are waking up and starting to like themselves, not only discovering who they are, they're really making progress in their journey of self discovery. I know how my journey is going because, I'm going through this journey as well. Even though I started way back 15 years ago, I am still going through this journey because this journey doesn't have a destination. It doesn't come to an end. Well, it comes to an end when you expire. But as long as you are breathing, you are always, at least, you allow yourself to evolve, to change, to grow, to develop, and to get to a place, where you remain relevant. You know what's happening. You stay up on technology. You start, you allow your mind to be curious about things. You keep an open mind. You develop friendships and relationships and learn about cultures and people and just allow yourself to grow. So I know how it's affecting me. I know how my life has changed and how it's changing every day. So when I hear other stories and when people tell me, I used to be this way and now I'm that way and I'm really allowing myself to live, that really makes me excited because that's what it's all about. There's too many situations of sadness in the world, people with issues and situations, and most of the time they don't know that they can get themselves out of that situation. It has to do with your mindset. But today, I want to talk I want to talk about belief system because I have come to realize a long time ago. I know that you know all of us, we are guided by a set of belief system. A belief system, all that is the set of principles and values that you are guided by. And it is all triggered by ideologies, teachings, just the way you conduct your life, your lifestyle. Some of it is influenced by your culture, by society. All of that forms a belief system in your mind. Now, come to realize that belief system is 100% subjective. It is totally subjective. A belief system is not collective because no two people can think alike. You don't have the same minds. You may agree or something may resonate with you, but as far as the core of your knowing, and in most cases, people's belief, it differs in some way or another. If I ask you to describe certain thing, a place, an event, a person, and put two people separate, if I ask you to draw your image of whomever, it will be different. Why? Because our minds, our personalities, our individualities is so unique to us. It is so unique to us. So again, your belief system is subjective. It is yours. It is yours personally. And that's why I know for me, it makes it so easy to be able to respect people's belief because it doesn't apply to me. Some people don't like to wear uh well, women, clothed with sleeveless, or they don't like to wear shorts, or they may not want to wear, short dresses, whatever. That doesn't apply to me because I like to wear shorts. I wear sleeveless clothing, and I dress a certain way the way I like, and it doesn't affect anyone. But if I like it, I wear it. Again, someone may say, no, I don't do. As a matter of fact, I knew a woman, a lady. back then, years back, and she would say that she doesn't wear trousers, she doesn't wear pants at all. For her, that was a thing in her mind, and I don't, but again, that applied to her. That was part of her belief system. It is so subjective. Now, what I have found also is that a belief system, all belief systems are flexible, and belief systems change sometimes with the experiences that one uh, have, that one has. The experiences that you may have will change the way you see things, your views, your opinions, your belief about issues, events, society, everything. That will change. Now, there are some people that are very rigid in their belief system, in whatever it is. Perhaps their moral values, perhaps uh, principles on I don't know, their lifestyle. That can change, and that will change based on where you are geographically, or again, the experiences that you may have. So relax and know that, and another thing also, knowledge. The more you know, the more subject you are to changes, because information, especially today, we are so we have so much information to us. There is no reason for anyone to not know, or to be ignorant, or to not form an idea. And that happens, people that are like, out there, they're not aware of stuff, is because they have not submitted themselves to critical thinking, or to really allow their minds to tap into the resources that's available to all of us. So it's on you. It's on you. And in most cases, we all have, a mobile device that goes with us. So on a dime, you can flip things in a minute to get answers, to get directions, to find out information, so that you are not in the dark. You're not, I don't know. You can know what you need to know when you need to know it. So again, it's on us. So now, belief system, again, as I said, some people are very rigid in their belief system, very dogmatic, and that's what they believe, and they're not moving from there, and that is okay. One of the things that we must understand, my friend, amigos, one of the things that we must understand is that belief system is personal, and everyone has the right and the freedom to believe what they want to believe. What is important that you understand, and that I understand, is that your belief system or your beliefs doesn't apply to me. And the way I believe, the way I conduct my life, because the way I conduct my life is based on what I believe. The way you conduct your life is based on what you believe. As long as I understand, it doesn't apply to you. So I cannot set my expectations on you. There was a situation that just happened with someone recently. Uh, they just bought a house, and they are getting all set up in their house, and then this person shows up, uh, travel, and shows up, based on a conversation they had. They told them, you can, when I get set up, you can come and spend a weekend or something like that. I'm not sure how it was worded, but the person showed up with their spouse, and they showed up at this, in the city where these people live. And in their minds, the ones that came, they were coming to stay like, a couple of months. And the host, they were like aghast, because they're like, wait a minute, we didn't have this conversation. And a whole thing ensued. They accommodated them for a while, and then came a point where they had to say, uh, you're gonna have to leave again. And then the host shared that they could not believe that these people would do something like that. They said, I could not even imagine that you would just show up at somebody's house or show up in the city and call and say, you need to pick me up or whatever. The point is, this, the hosts, they, it doesn't even compute in their mind based on their lifestyle, their set of beliefs, that another person would just show up. It just doesn't. In the meantime, this person and my impression of this whole thing is that they weren't really friends. They just knew each other. But anyway, so they had to get him out. My point is, your belief system, that's why clarity is so important. You have to make it clear. First of all, clear to yourself. What is it that I believe? What are my guideposts? What are my belief system? What is my lifestyle like? How do I address myself? I was talking to my sister the other day, and we were talking about boundaries. And I said, comes a point in your life that boundaries are established by default. In the beginning, if somebody doesn't know you, they may take certain liberties or do something and so forth. But we were saying, after a while in your life, especially in this season, once you are grown and you are adult, you have got, and you get to know who you are, and you know yourself, and you like yourself, and you've studied yourself, and you understand yourself, and so forth. You get to know who you are, and what you stand for, the things you. So your boundaries are set up. It's almost like the freaking frequency goes, the energy goes before you. And when you meet somebody, they know. And as the relationship evolves, develop, then they know. No, 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 no. We don't just show up. We need to call. We need to make things clear. I do that in my relationships with my friends. I had friends that had certain expectations of me, and I made it clear. No, 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 no. That is not the way I'm flowing, and you know, you make it clear in a nice way. But see what it does? It protects me, my emotions, my feelings, my thoughts, so that there can be no ill feeling towards someone, or that I feel pressured into doing something, or obligated, or having to make excuses, explain, and all that. I don't put myself in that situation, and neither should you. But that comes with knowing who you are. That comes with knowing who you are, and personal experience, the things that you go through, and that, people, again, we need. That's why when I even when I'm on the phone with perhaps a business call and so forth, I like to make it clear. Like this morning, I'm in this network, and a great network that I belong to, but I have not been able to attend the meetings, the events, the luncheon, just because my schedule, I have prioritized it differently. So it's been almost a year that I have not attended, but every month there is a dues that's taken out, from my credit card that I pay to be part of this network. And I've been thinking it for a long time. I just need to just put a pause on that, and resume if I want to later on, or if I want to go to the events, pay a premium price instead of a membership price, and so forth. So I've been, toying with the idea, but I hadn't really taken steps to do that. And this morning I sat down and I said, you know what? Because I saw that my American Express was charged for another month of membership. And when I saw that, I thought, okay, this is just money out the window for a whole year, because I haven't really. I think the last time I went was March of 23, and I haven't been back. Anyway, sometime in 23. And so I thought, you know what? Let me just put a pause, and whatever events they have, because they have events every month, or at least a luncheon, which is very good, nice. They bring a speaker in, and you learn a lot of stuff, and they share, and you walk out with a lot of nuggets. So it's a good thing. But my schedule has been very busy. And when I say busy, because nobody's that busy, I have made priorities over certain things. So I have not been able to go. So I sat this morning and I wrote a note to the director um, of the organization. And of course, she knows that I like it, so it's not for any reason at all. And I explained to her that, that I'm going to take a pause, and then I may resume. And, I just want to make sure that the last membership fee that's charged is dated May 21st of 2024 to my American Express. I made that clear. And I said, that's the last payment fee that I expect. I made that clear. So there's no like, okay, no. I made it very clear. And if I choose to resume, what are the guidelines? Do I have to pay a intro fee again, which is a few thousand, not thousand, $100, or can I just resume my membership? Whatever. I haven't heard back from her, but I made it clear. You have to make it clear. I always make it clear so there is no question. And if I miss something, then I will come back and say, make that ask again, and so forth. So again, and that again is boundaries. It's just setting up, just because I don't want any misunderstanding down the road. And comes June, I don't expect my American Express card to be charged again. Why? Because I've made it clear that May 21st, which is was it what, yesterday? Yeah, 21st. That was the last fee that was taken out of my American Express. I made that clear. So all that is, again, you know who you are, you know what you want, you know where you're going, you know what you're up to, you know what decisions you have made, and this way you just address the situation upfront upfront. This way there are no questions. And if somebody comes back with a question, then you make it clear. But as I mentioned earlier, there's no reason. The only reason is because I have not been attending. And the fee has been, taken out of my credit card every month, every single month. And I agreed to that, and that's okay. But when I saw this last one, I saw it today. I said, I really need to put a pause on this, because I don't see me going back anytime, within the next couple, you know, months or so. And even if I choose to go, then in most cases you would have to pay like the premium. There's like a premium fee, and then there's a membership fee, which may be, a few dollars less, and so forth, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. So my point is, again, my belief system, part of my belief system, fitting into my values and my lifestyle and my, the principles that I go by, is to bring clarity to my life and the people that I interact with, so that we can have a clear understanding. Because one of the things that I value most is to be in harmony with people, to be in harmony with everyone. I don't want to have, no, I want to be in harmony with everyone, because that's the way we can live and be happy and friendly and joyous, and just really have good relationships with people. So again, that is my own personal value, and that's what I go by. But getting back to belief system, your belief system, that's something that you can uh, revisit. You can revisit to make sure that your life works in accordance to the beliefs that you have set for your life in your mind. The way you conduct your life, are those the beliefs that are yours? And again, so many folks Again, people are waking up, and because of information through different sources, some are part of my network here, and that makes me happy because that's what I talk about. The journey of self discovery and so forth. And but the thing is, people are discovering. When you go through this journey of self discovery, you start figuring out and realizing that, wait a minute, I'm doing things, or I am, that's really not me. That's really not me. When you realize how unique you are, my husband and I had a conversation yesterday morning, and we were saying, I said to him, I said, it's really interesting when you come into that place of knowing who you are, and your individual makeup, and to walk in that. I had gone for a walk early in the morning, and it was I was just doing a lot of self talk, and I was getting into some areas about my overall well-being. When I self talk, it's about me, it's about my mind, it's about my health, it's about my relationships, it's about my finances, it's about my emotions, my feelings. It's about everything. It's about everything. And I speak to those. I speak to every organ in my body. I speak to it. I'm serious. So when I came home, I shared it with my husband. I said, "Why?" I said, "I got in this morning to, speaking to every organ, every joint, every, and as I voice, well, not really voice because I was walking and, in my mind, and as I uh, voiced it in my mind, I would say things like, or the response would be like, my system, again, I'm not going to be very explicit, but like my system was thanking me. I mentioned a while back that I do fast. I Intermittent fasting. I fast like 18 hours a day and have like a 6-hour window where I eat everything, whatever, ice cream, everything. And that's again, I'm not rigid, but that is my makeup throughout the week. you know 18-hour fast and a 6-hour eating window. That works for me. And in my mind, it's like my system was thanking me for giving it, you know, that time to rest, regenerate, rejuvenate, and repair and get rid of old cells, and restore with new cells. And I had this whole image in my mind of my eyes, my senses, my every organ, and I call them by name, and I talk to these organs, just you know thanking that they work so well. That's just me. Yeah. And that's part of my belief system. And I've been doing this for a long time. It's just that I'm getting a little more vocal. I'm getting a little more explicit. But it works. When I think about my knees and my ankles, and and all that, and how they work so well, and my heart, these are things that for me, that's all part of my makeup when I talk about overall well-being. Because some people, they just accept sickness as a part of life. I don't. The people may say, well, I have asthma, or I have this, or I have that, or I have this, and I have that, and people own it. So it doesn't go away because you own it. You have owned it, and you have submitted yourself to, um, uh, you know, uh, medication, and which is good. I mean, which you have to do. But my point is, know that your body will respond to the things that you have established in your mind as to your expectations for your body. So, again, it all fits into my belief system when it has to do with my health, with my health. And, again, belief system, your values, ideologies, principles, lifestyle, all of that, the way you conduct your life is based on your belief system. We had a situation a few years ago, and it was so comical. This person was visiting from another country, and so they came to Dallas, and they were with some other friends, and they it was a Saturday, and they went, shopping to the mall, the Galleria Mall, Stonebriar Mall. They just went all over shopping and just having a good time and so forth. And so we decided that we were going to have a dinner for him and some other people. There were probably, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 of us or whatever. So this person does not eat pork because of his religious beliefs. Doesn't eat pork. We knew that. So we didn't cook pork. I like pork chops. I like ribs. I like all that. And my husband, when he gets that grill going, oh, he's just the best chef when it comes to that. So anyway, we decided to do a pasta dish with shrimp masala, pasta masala. Don't look up that because that's not a recipe. We make some fancy dishes and we name them. So, shrimp pasta masala. My husband got some big shrimp, almost, think they call them prawns or whatever. Anyway, some nice, big, fresh shrimp. And, he put it all together in with pasta and the sauce. It was delicious. It was so good. Everybody came, and everyone is supposed to serve themselves. It's there, you serve yourself, and then you sit at the table because it was, fancy table and blah blah. So this person, remember the man that was visiting, he sat at, served himself and sat at the table, and he's eating. He's he's eating there, and everybody's talking and eating. And then this woman said, she said, wait a minute. She said, you eat shrimp? And he's like, oh my gosh. you know, she's like, I thought you didn't eat shellfish. And he said, you're right. No, I don't. No, that's against my religion. And so he proceeded to take out the remainder of the shrimp because he had loaded up his dish with all this shrimp. There was a lot of shrimp in that pasta. And he proceeded to take it out, take out all the shrimp. But he had already eaten like 7 pieces of shrimp, you know. And then we started, like kind of like laughing. We're like, come on, you know that. You just because the dinner smelled so the food smelled so good. And then so we started like roasting him a little bit. And we were like, and you went shopping today? Do you realize today is Saturday? And it was hilarious because again, this person, they're not supposed to do these things on a Saturday. And there were other days they could have gone shopping Sunday or Monday because they were here for like a week. But they I don't know if they forgot or if they didn't realize that we would know. And this person had no discretion. She just said, wait a minute, shrimp? I thought you're not supposed to eat shrimp. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're right. Well, what do you mean, oh my gosh, you're right? That's your belief system. That's part of your belief system. I mean, is it in you or is it, I mean, is that part of you or is it part of your indoctrination? Because, you know, certain things in my belief system are non negotiable. Do no harm to another. That is non-negotiable. You don't even have to tell me, don't hurt that person because, and that's not exclusive of me. I'm sure most people think that way. But that's part of my non-negotiable. Uh, non-negotiable. Let me just see. As far as eating, it's not. If I don't eat something like Brussels sprouts, I don't like Brussels sprouts. But it's not because of any kind of, it's just because I don't like it. There's nothing that I cannot eat because of a belief system. I can eat anything I want. If I don't eat it, it's because I don't like it. But this person, we knew, and that's why, my husband wanted to make some, grilled chops, big chops on the grill, whatever. But he said no because he won't be able to participate because he doesn't eat, and he didn't want to do grill and chicken and all that. No, so he just thought, let's do a shrimp pasta masala. And he ate the shrimp. He loved it. Talk about the sauce in it, and he was loved it. And then he was just carrying on about it, and that's why this woman said, "Wait a minute, that's shrimp. You you're not supposed to eat shrimp, isn't that?" And I don't know whether they knew, but they just wanted to, because they were in another country from work, from their home, and just wanted to be free and just be themselves or what. I have no idea, but the point is, they ate like 7 shrimp, big shrimp, and then by the time he was busted. He took out like probably another 7 pieces of shrimp out of his plate. That's how he loaded it up. Why? Because he probably had never had it, or he smelt the food and it smelled good and he wanted more. So again, that is part of his religious belief system, and that's why uh, he was caught in that situation. So when I talk about belief system, a- again, you can be rigid, or he could have said he if he was flexible, he could have said, "Well, you're right. My belief system, my religion doesn't allow me to eat shrimp, but I'm going to enjoy this." Period. But no. So you question, you wonder, is that really him, or is it because of a system, an indoctrinated system that he has in his mind? You don't really know. That's his thing. I mean, I didn't, I enjoyed mine and that was the end of it. So your belief system, my friend, again, it is so unique, but you have to revisit it to make sure that those different areas of your life, the values you live by, the principles, all those, the ideologies, and in most cases, ideologies are things that are not from you. There are things that you get from the outside, information you get from the outside, indoctrination, teaching, cultural construct, conventional norms, tradition, all of that is what make up your belief system, and then your life is conducted based on the things that you believe. And again, if there are things that you subscribe to because of yourself, that's great. But if it's just because somebody else says it, now if it resonates with you, then fine. But what will happen is that it will become part of you. I'm gonna It's kind of getting hot in here, and I can turn up my system. I mean, turn it down. Ah, turn it on. Turn it to 71. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, if it's part of you, if it's something that you subscribe to, that you that's yours, it becomes part of you. You do things almost on autopilot, or you refrain from doing things because it's not it's not part of your belief system, or it's your belief system that you should not succumb to that or do that or engage in that activity. So you need to, that's one of the areas that you need to revisit your whole belief system and belief system. And the belief system has to do, will affect every area of your life. It will affect you emotionally, psychologically, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, socially, every area of your life. And it's up to you to change it, revisit it, modify it, get rid of it. I got rid of a lot of things that no longer serve me. Again, my belief system is flexible because when I learn something, if I learn something that works better, I update my belief system. Yeah, my belief system is not set in stone, and neither is yours. Now, you can be rigid and dogmatic about it, and that is okay. I always say it's all okay, but make sure it's working for you. Whatever it is that you believe, it has to work. It has to work to bring you joy and peace and happiness and contentment. It has to work. And if it's not working, if you're not getting the things, if you're not living the life that you desire, if you're not getting the things you want, something is not right. Now, you may have a different belief system, but in my mind, when I set my mind on something, I may have, to wait and so forth, because I believe in me. I know myself, and I believe in myself, and I know myself. I don't like to use the term believe, because belief is doubt. Belief is simply doubt, and that's what belief is. Belief is doubt. So, you could rest in belief, and because you can only believe what you don't know. You can only believe what you don't know, what you don't know for sure. And when I set my mind to something, I know for sure in my mind that it's going to work out. It's going to work out. It's going to be fine. And that's the way I have conducted my life. And guess what? I have verifiable, demonstrable evidence, proof that that which I do works for me. And that should be your aim. It has to work for you. It's kind of hot. It has to work. It has to work for you. Whatever it is that you uh, believe, the belief system. As far as your health, let's take your health for instance, because your health is critical. Your health is critical, and if you hone in on that, because without your health you can't do fun stuff. Like with me, I like to go out, I like to walk. I could walk for miles. I love walking in the morning. The birds, the sky, the sun, the breeze. It was humid this morning, but anyway, I like to, so I need my knees, I need my ankles, I need my hip, I need it to work well, because I fast walk, chai walk, fast. Not, I used to jog and used to run and all that, but that's changed. That's just changed because you put pressure on your knee and blah, whatever. Again, you see, I changed that. I used to run and used to love it. And after a while, different seasons of your life, after a while you realize, no, you don't need to run, jog. So I used to jog and loved that. I really like the job. And then after a while, you read stuff and they talk about how you jar your knee and you put a lot of pressure and so forth. So I stopped jogging. Again, that's just me. and where I am because of things that I have, information that I have garnered, about jogging and so forth. So I walk, and I could walk like 8 miles and just love it because, around the lake and all that kind of stuff. So you just love it. But let's take your health. Whatever it is, most people are, on some kind of medication and so forth. Hone in on that. Pay attention to that. You don't have to have what you have. But again, if your mind has not been conditioned to speak over yourself, or to have a conversation, or to really address your system and your body and do what it takes to to keep it right and so forth, and stay positive and optimistic about your health and so forth. If you don't engage in those thoughts and those things that may be eccentric, but people don't need to know. I mean, I don't care if people know what I do or not, in that regard. But you may be viewed as an oddball, eccentric, free spirited, whatever. It doesn't matter. Nonconformist. It does not matter. If it works for you, that's all that matters. Hone in. If you have issues with your health, some people have asthma, and they'll say, "I'm asthmatic." You're owning it. Don't say that anymore. Or they may have, I don't know, arthritis, and they'll say my arthritis. No. If you own it, then you cannot address it because you have already owned it. It's part of you, and it will stay there. And you'll continue to take your medication and do whatever you need to do to mitigate the pain, or just succumb to the uh, deterioration of whatever your health. And you don't want that. That's not again, this is the best season of your life. So with this information that you are getting, it's never too late. If you are breathing, it's not too late. It is not too late. You can just backtrack and go back, and with the information that you have now, go back and start doing things differently. Start really making changes. Crossing my leg over here. I love to do that. Anyway, yeah. So you again, it's the set of belief that you have in your mind, all the things that you believe, your system. It's a system. Just think of it as a computer system, and your whole lifestyle is guided by that. And if it's yours, again, I'm saying, if it emanates from you, then that's fine. Now, as you learn more information, are you open for changes? Do you want to make changes? Are you flexible, or are your beliefs set in stone? If it's set in stone, then that's that's yours, and that is okay. Don't let anyone tell you that that's not okay. But just understand, it's a personal belief system. It doesn't apply to anyone else. Like the things that I believe doesn't apply to you. Now, if it resonates with you, great. But if it doesn't, then you have nothing to change. You stay the way you are. All I say is make sure that it works for you based on the belief system that you have. Based on the belief system that is established in your mind. These are the ideologies that I live by, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. This is the way I conduct my finances. Some people, you know I used to be one of those years ago before I met my husband. My finances was a mess because, again, I shared that, my dad was always a giver. He always gave us everything. And when I left Panama, when I left home and came to the US, and after a while, I found myself on my own, and didn't have any financial sense. So I spent as if, you know, there was no limit. And I had to pull that in, rein it in, change my mind, change my thinking, change my system, and bring it into order, correction. And now, I mean, yeah, I can go any place and you know, buy a house, get a car, whatever. Why? Why? Because I had a certain belief system based on my finances. I was careless. I was negligent. It was in disarray, no order. And I just spent because, I had the money, I had credit, and so forth, and just spent, no limits. Then I found myself high in debt. And I had to, it didn't feel good. That did not feel good when you, your funds are limited. You can't do this, you can't do that because you've got to pay this bill. That does not feel good. So, after I went through that experience, I honed it in and I said, no mas. And that was before I met my husband. Of course, when I met my husband, he is so ordered he's so pragmatic in everything, in his finances and so forth. So I kind of aligned with him, and and it's all good. It is all good. But you see, I got new information in how to get my finances in order, and uh, consequently, now I can do just, whatever I want. Why? Because it's in order. It's in order. So, and as I learn things, and sometimes, sometimes I'm kind of, the other day I said to myself, Cynthia, you're kind of slow learning certain things. And it's not that I'm slow, it's just that I do what works for me now. And when I get new information, I don't just succumb and just do it. I research, I test, I try, I figure things out to make sure that it works for me. And then the moment I see that it's working out, then I hone right in and I make changes. So my belief system is flexible. It's nothing for me is set in stone. Spiritually, I think I mentioned to you, mentioned on my shows before that, I'm guided by three principles: love, kindness, and compassion. That's it. That's pretty much set in stone. That works for me. You extend love and kindness to people, and when compassion is needed, then you can execute compassionate toward people and situations. So that's pretty much set in stone, and that works for me. And that's it. Anything else, I don't worry about anything else. I believe in the strength and the power that I have, and I believe in my own resiliency. When I have situations that happens in my life, you have to bounce back. You got to bounce back. You have to bounce back from situations in your life. But again, revisit your belief system, because what it is again your values. Your values. It's like, when I think about my husband and I, we've been married 3 decades, and over 3 decades, and it's just, we're not just married. We live our lives intentionally. And this lady was complaining the other day, and she said, does anyone, part of this group that I'm in, and she said, does anyone have any tips? We've been married for 30 something years, and our relationship has gone flat. And gosh, and I wanted to opine and put something in there, but I just wasn't, I wasn't feeling it, so I didn't. Everybody put different things and so forth, and what I see, our belief system, my husband and I, when we went in, we are always like, let's keep it fresh. Let's keep it fresh. Let's keep it fresh and not let anyone between us. Let no one come into our marriage. No one. And I mean no one. Don't let anybody in. and we stay intentional and keep it fresh. You know, we don't have like a lot of couples have date night, and that's great. Not us. We just spontaneous and adventurous. And we may say, let's take a plane and go someplace for a little rendezvous. For us, a rendezvous is like a little getaway, a little romantic getaway to, a new place, new surroundings, and so forth. And we just do whatever it takes to keep it fresh. Because once it's gone stale, and it can, if you don't pay attention, it can go stale. Your relationship, not just marriage, but if you're in a partnership, a relationship, it's easy to just say, I'm just bring it to an end. And that's okay. That's just life. In a marriage, it's a little different because then there are things involved, your assets and all that kind of stuff. But if you're not happy, I don't subscribe to the whole thing of staying in a relationship or a marriage if you're not happy. I just can't reconcile that in my mind. I just can't. Now I would never tell someone to leave. I always send you to introspect, check yourself. What are the things, because you can change, and you don't really have to expect your partner to change, but you can change and start doing things that make you happy, and hope that that would change the situation, your relationship. You can change yourself, but not everyone has that swag to or that confidence, because by the time you are 30 years into a marriage, and for it to become stale, it takes both of you for it to become stale. Sometimes it's because all the attention was given to the kids and no attention to your spouse. Now, a lot of people say kids come first. I say spouse comes first, and then both the mom and the dad, you shower the kids with attention and things like that. But your spouse comes first. That's just, again, that's just me, and that's part of my belief system. And if you think my kids come first, then that is your truth. And don't let anyone take that away from you. That is your truth. If you say no, as a matter of fact, I remember one time this gal, she's divorced now, but she says no, no, no. She had a son, and she says my son comes first, second, and third. She goes, my and she had a good marriage. She says my husband, he's an adult, he can take care of himself, but my son gets all my attention. She made it clear. As I said, they're now divorced, been divorced for the longest time. But that's not the way it goes. Not if you are really interested in your marriage. But it all has to do with your belief system. That was her belief system, and it was set in stone. She was rigid about that. My son needs me, and he comes first, second, and third. See, in my mind, my husband doesn't even come first. There is no first, second, and third, because once you say, oh, my husband is first, that means there's a second and a third. No, there's a place that he occupies that nobody fits. There's a place that not even my mother, if she were alive. Why? Because there's a place my mother occupies in my heart, in my life, that belongs to no one. It's unique. My mother. And that's how I compartmentalize those relationships. My husband, there's a place that's his, and no one takes that place. So there's no, oh, you come first. No, he is it. And now I'm just saying my same thing I do with my sisters. I have two sisters. Well, I have two sisters from my mom, and then I've got a half brother but my relationships are with my two sisters, and we have unique relationships, and it's good. And there's a place that I hold in my heart individually for each one of them. Why? Because of personalities and relationships and things of that nature. And all of that is okay. Again, that is part of my belief system. And your belief system, bring it to the table and examine it, because what it is, it's based on your values, and you have to determine what your values are. What are the ideologies that you are governed by? What are the principles that you live by that has set up your lifestyle? And you will see, last week I talked about being intellectually honest with yourself. If you are really honest with yourself, you will see that there are things about you. You will see that you may be in a false identity that's not even yours. Why? Because of the ideologies and the values, the principles, and all of that comprises your belief system. And then you figure out, wait a minute, that's not mine. And sometimes it's hard to get out of it, because if you have commitments to people and situations, it may be hard to get out of that, because people's expectations and your self-imposed commitment to the people around you. You feel obligated, you feel responsible, you feel like you have to do this in order to fit, to comply, to conform, to keep the peace, and so forth. Comes a time where you like, no, wait a minute, it's me, it is my peace. And then you walk around peace, and people are like, what's with you? No, no, no. You have got it clear in your mind what it's like to have your own values, to set up your own principles, and have your own ideologies. And if it stems from the teaching and the training that you have had in the past, that is okay. I'm telling you, a lot of stuff is okay, but if it's not okay, then you want to change it. You want to just change it, get rid of it, so that you can become and be your true, authentic self. That's the whole goal, where you can just be yourself in any situation. You can just be yourself. There's nothing like when you can just show up your true authentic self. You don't have to think things, you don't have to make excuses, you don't have to explain, you don't have to lie. No, you just be yourself. And one of that is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries and being able to say no to situations, and walking away from patterns, habits, behaviors, the collective way of thinking. Everybody is doing it that way, so I better fit in. Otherwise, I'll be an oddball. I'll be outcasted. I'll be, ostracized. But if you like you, my friend, if you like you, and if you like you understand you, and you love you, and you come into this place of authenticity, I am telling you, there is no greater reward. And you know something? People will respect you for it. They will respect you for it. They will respect you by default when they see that you are a no nonsense type of person. So I encourage you, take a look at your belief system in every area of your life. You can start with your health, your mind, your emotions, your feelings, spirituality. For some people, their religion, religion, spirituality, you know, religion is organized, spirituality is, you figure it out. For me, again, I just go, love, kindness, and compassion, and that works for me. With that, my friend, I'm going to say, I'm going to leave you with that. To me, that was loaded, because it gives you food for thought that would make you a better person, to like yourself, not just love yourself and know who you are, but to like yourself. That's what I have found. Once I came to know who I am, you kind of like yourself, because then you are authentic. It's like a sense of purity. It's you're pure, and it you're pure. So I leave you with that. Every Thursday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have a date right here. And if you can't make it on a Thursday, then see the icons down here on the right? Facebook, Instagram, uh, LinkedIn, YouTube, 24/7. You can access this show. If you need someone to work with you one on one, I'm also a certified life coach. I am your person. Or if you know someone else who you have a good energy with, I encourage you, because I'm telling you, this is the best season of your life and you must live it now. Now, now, now. If you need to drop me a note, go to info@thecynthialinoxshow.com and we can chat from there. I'll read it, do whatever we need to do, connect with you, and so forth. But until next Thursday, I will see you. Have a fantastic weekend. Of course, you've got Friday, and then the weekend is upon us. Make it magical. Hasta la vista. Hasta la próxima. See you then.